Hey there, mental health enthusiast. Welcome to my channel, Gladiator in Scrubs. Today, I want to take a deep dive into the world of psychology or psychiatry and, somewhat of a self care. Anyhow, today we are going to tackle the fundamental aspects of mental health assessment, otherwise known as conducting a mental health status examination. So, or in short, it's called MSE. So anyhow, this will be somewhat of a comprehensive dive into this, and I just want to let you know, take care of your mental health. So we kind of first need to start to talk about what is a mental health. Think of it sort of like a mental health checkup, where there's kind of an assessment of various aspects of a person's mental state, from their thoughts and their feelings and their behavior and cognition and so forth. So let's take a snapshot at this stuff. First of all, mental health examination or mental status examination starts from what we can see, just the appearance of somebody and their behavior. So imagine that you're meeting someone for the first time, right? What are the first things that you notice? Like how they look and how they behave, right? So let's start by that. So you're looking at how the person dress, whether they're dressed appropriately for the situation, whether they're dressed appropriately for the weather condition, their grooming, their hygiene. Everything gives you examples of how somebody's mental state could be. For example, if somebody is in the middle of summer, I don't know, 60 degrees, whatever the case is, but they're dressed like they're supposed to be in the winter time, wearing winter jackets, winter pants, and winter shoes, and scarf, and all of these things. These are signs that somebody might just need some help. The opposite is also true. So if somebody's in the wintertime, minus 30 degrees, wearing t-shirt, tank top, no jacket, slippers, shorts, like these are signs that somebody might not be perceiving their environment appropriately and not recognizing safety concerns that could be a detrimental effect to their medical and mental state. You also want to look at the person's sort of behavior. Are they fidgety? Are they making eye contact? Do they seem calm or agitated? Um, so, for instance, during the MSC, you want to kind of like, you might notice that the person is impeachably dressed, right? And but they are like tapping their feet nervously, avoiding eye contact, which could indicate some sort of underlying anxiety or some sort of discomfort, some sort of distress. So, talking to the patient, you want to assess their speech, just to start. Your speech, whether this person isn't talking, only selectively talking. Is this person talking seemingly too much off the norm? Talking a kind of like rapid and pressured and overly excitable in their language. This could be signs that this person is suffering from a manic sort of episode or manic diagnostic issues going on there. And there could be various different conclusions, so I won't make any right now. So speech is something that you look at. You're looking at the person's cognition. This is their like memory, their attention span, their sort of like executive functionings. So speech coming in that, any confusion, any difficulty understanding basic topics and tasks. If the person is struggling to remember the day before and what they eat, what they had, what they did, doing simple calculations. You just kind of want to like rule out any underlying possible medical issues before you get to the mental health to see whether they're having any cognitive impairment, and this could be more in line with somebody having early dementia or something like that rather than some sort of psychiatric issue. But to figure that out, you want to assess further. So you want to look at talking to this patient, seeing whether or not they can hold a proper conversation. So this is assessing their thought process, thought form, and thought content, the things that they think about, whether the stuff they think about aligns with reality as we know it, or do they have some sort of misinterpretation of what's going on around them, which could be some delusional thinking and so forth. So you want to see whether this person is organized and logical, whether they are all over the place, which would be disorganized, they can't give you a coherent story, things what they're saying seems unrealistic, so forth. So you want to just assess that. So let's say that during the examination, the person start to talk about how aliens are communicating with them through their toaster, for instance. That's a clear example of a delusion because can a toaster talk? No. Number one, um, do we have any normal understanding of aliens being around, going around talking to people? No, obviously, right? So that's clear signs there that that person's thinking is not common. It's not um, it's abnormal, and there's problems in their thinking here. So these are the kind of things that you want to assess. You know, carrying on talking about thought content, and you're thinking about the person's perception as well. The person's perception is sometimes they experience things like hallucinations. These are how somebody's senses affect their understanding of the world, right? Because we all hear things and we know a siren is coming, maybe we need to pull over. We all see things, maybe a house is on fire, we need to call the fire department. We all understand that if we touch a hot stove, we're gonna be burned. So this is how we understand our environment is from our senses. What you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel, what you can smell. So some people can misinterpret things that are happening around them from the things they're seeing, the things they're hearing, the things they're smelling, the things they're touching. It could be hallucinations or illusions. So during the examination, for instance, the person mentions hearing voices whispering to them, even though there is no one present in a room with them or no one around, no TV talking, no nothing going on, no radio, but they're hearing voices talking to them. That's a classical example of an auditory hallucination, and that tells you a lot about somebody's perception. For of course, you want to ask more detailed questions like, when did this start? What are the voices saying? Have the voices been threatening? Have the voices been um, commenting about you or other people? Have the voices been commanding you to do things? What are the commands that they command you? Do they tell you to harm yourself? Do they tell you to harm other people? These are important questions that you want to ask, right? Um, you want to also carry on with asking questions about safety. This is one of the biggest piece of mental status examination. Um, and this you want to ask very straightforward questions. Do you have thoughts about killing yourself? This has to be a straightforward question. Even the word killing yourself is very clear and understanding what you're asking. Sometimes they say, do you have thoughts about harming yourself? Sometimes people have thoughts of harming themselves but don't actually want to kill themselves. There are people who self harm in various ways, and they do this. And some of the common sort of comment here is that people feel like they do it for numbing, they do it for relieving pressure, and all of this kind of stuff. But that's not as clear as a risk as somebody wanting to kill themselves. So very important to ask very straightforward question here to get a yes or no answer in a sense. Of course, you're not going to stop there. You want to have far more detail about this because it tells you the importance of acting It tells you the methods that you might need to take to keep somebody safe. It tells you how much of a risk someone is for themselves or others. Do you have thoughts of killing yourself? What are you planning to do? Where are you planning to do it? When are you planning to do it? Um, have you done this before? Have you tried to kill yourself in other ways? How many times have you tried to kill yourself? What was the nature at those times? What precipitated you wanting to kill yourself? Um, how did you get help? How were you stopped? You and for the more current, you want to definitely ask about, do you have access to the thing, whatever they say that you're going to do? Do you have access to be able to get whatever you need to do to harm yourself? Have you been making any preparations? Are you buying any equipment? Have you been writing goodbye letters or emails or messages to family? Have you been selling your things, giving away your money, your property, your this, that? You want to see how far has this person gone. That tells you a lot about their intent to actually carry through with this stuff. There are sometimes people have suicidal thoughts and they do have a plan, but they don't have intent to actually carry it out. It's something that they've been thinking about, but they haven't made any preparations. They haven't made any actions. They never tried to do anything before. They have reasons to live. It's very important to assess somebody's protective factors. So these are things that in somebody's life that sort of motivates them and keeps them going, not wanting to die, not wanting to kill themselves because, family, their children, they want to they have aspirations for the future. They want to complete school, they want to make their family happy, blah blah blah. A lot of different things. And certainly you want to know why. What are the things that are contributing? What stressors are you having in your life that sort of are precipitating you feeling the way you're feeling? You want to ask about your mood. Someone's mood is subjective. It's whatever they say to you that it is. Now, what you see may be different, and that's their affect. Affect is what you can see objectively. Mood is what you assess subjectively. So you want to see what this person is feeling internally, because that can tell you a lot about their state of mind. So whatever they say they're feeling, you need to see, does it match what you're seeing? So if somebody says that, yeah, I'm depressed. I've been depressed actually for the past 2 weeks, but they seem actually pretty bright, pretty talkative, pretty happy, smiling, laughing. Um, Seems actually kind of the opposite, very excitable. Then that doesn't match what you're seeing and what they're saying. Or it could be the opposite. Somebody says that I've never been more happy in my life. Everything is good. Nothing is wrong with me. Um, but what you're seeing is like this person just seems to have no emotions, just kind of like flat, or just kind of seem actually down and quite depressed and quite sad and tearful. But they're saying they're all good. Doesn't match up. So you need to definitely take that into account in the assessment. And sometimes things can match up. What they're saying is true. And if somebody says that they're depressed, you want to know how long they have been feeling depressed. When did they first notice? Had anything happen? You want to know, you want to have them rate how depressed they are. 10 is the happiest they've been in their life. 1 is the lowest point in their life. How would they rate how depressed they're feeling? So forth. Have they been sleeping? Have they been eating? How is their concentration? Or is their energy? What are things that they do for fun? Have they been engaging in these things? What any changes in their interests or motivation? Those kind of assessment you want to put in there to figure out how depressed this person actually is. You do want to assess the person's insight and judgment. Insight is essentially the person understanding and awareness about their own mental state. and their ability to make decisions about their mental state is your assessment of their judgment. So, do the person recognize that they have a problem? That's a testing of their insight. Are they able to take steps to address it? Did they bring themselves to the hospital? Or did family have to go to the court and get a form issued to bring them in? Um, are they making sound decisions about their daily life, right? Have this patient already had mental health issues? They decide to stop taking their medication. They think that they are now fine. They don't need the medication anymore. They hate to take medication, blah, blah, blah. So poor judgment. They understand maybe that, yeah, taking the medication will keep them stable, but when they don't take it, they make them bad, but they stop taking it anyway. So, different little things might give you an understanding here. So, somebody needs to be able to accept that they're struggling, for instance, with depression, and they go seek help from a therapist that demonstrate good insight and judgment. However, if they refuse to acknowledge any issues, I'm good. My family is a liar. My family is a families are liars, and they want to continue to essentially engage in sort of risky behaviors. That is a different story. That's poor judgment, poor insight, and so forth. So, very important to establish a rapport with your patient. Start by building trusting relationship, nurse-client relationship with the patient. Ask open-ended questions to get more engagement from the patient and detailed responses beyond yes and no. Obviously, there are important aspects in the assessment where you definitely need to ask straightforward questions where it's a yes and no, like, do you have thoughts of killing yourself? Remain objective. You're not there to pass your preconceptions and judgment onto the patient. Don't jump to conclusions. You need to do the assessment to get to your conclusion. Cut out your own biases, bracket them, throw them away, because it's important that you don't let your own feelings get in the way of treating somebody for the mental condition that they're going through. Obviously, finally, you want to document your information very accurately and thoroughly, in a good, concise manner. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you found it to be helpful, this was my comprehensive guide to a mental status examination. So just remember, it's all about diagnosing the patient and treating the patient for mental health conditions that's going on. If you have any suggestions for the next topic on my other video coming, please put it down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and take care. Thank you.